Hey, gang. Welcome to Tenerife, the largest of the Canary Islands. Tenerife is a major touristic destination. We're talking about 6 million visitors a year. Most of them love it and they come back every year. I'll show you why in this video. But some also hate it. Mainly because the south, from Los Cristianos to Costa Adere, it does feel like it's been built for tourism. A lot of British tourism. It does feel a bit like Skegness in the Atlantic. If you go down to the south, everyone speaks English. You can buy beans on toast or fish and chips. So it doesn't necessarily feel very authentic. But the rest of the island is full of amazing surprises. Now, little disclaimer, in this video, I don't claim to be showing you all the best spots. On this short trip, I was with my mother. So I've covered a lot of the spots that are easily accessible if you're not a great hiker yourself. I'll keep some hidden gems for the next video when I come back. The Canary Islands are all volcanic islands, like Madeira and the other Portuguese one. They've popped up in the middle of the ocean. On Tenerife itself, you've got two different climates. Let's say you book a week of holidays in the south, any time of the year, you're pretty sure you'll have a perfect sunny holiday weather. What could happen that could be a little bit annoying would be the wind. If you are unlucky, you might have a few days of Kalima wind. The Kalima is a special wind that comes straight from the Sahara Desert. And it can come with that reddish, sandy dust that can be quite annoying. Apart from that, it's pretty much sunny all year around. So if you fancy a beach holiday in January in Europe, that's the best place to be. So we are in Spain, so they pay with euros. The healthcare is great. That's why you have a lot of older British and European people that immigrate here to retire. The town of Los Cristianos used to be a tiny fishing village. That's why you've got this statue here. In the 50s, there was a Swedish gentleman. He suffered from multiple sclerosis, and he believed the dry climate of the south of the island might be good for his condition. So he came here for a little convalescence, and it worked. He went back to Sweden, and because he worked in TV, he told everyone how amazing the south of the island was for his condition. And that's how tourism really started down in the south. Local people did not live that much in the south before, because it is so dry. So if you want to see old Spanish towns, you wanna go up north like La Laguna or Santa Cruz. Nowadays, the economy in the south, it's mainly tourism and bananas. From the 1920s, they managed to bring irrigation down here, so they started cultivating a lot of bananas. The fauna and flora is also very interesting on the island. You might spot a few endemic species, and of course, a lot of beautiful palm trees. I spotted this interesting, massive caterpillar that's bigger than my finger. I had to look him up. Apparently it's called a death head caterpillar. Now the local people living here before the Spanish conquistador, they were the Guanches, like the gentleman on the statue here. They were very brave people. It took the Spanish 90 years to conquer those guys. We believe they were originally Berbers, coming from North Africa. We're not too sure how they ended up here though. If you go up north to Puerto de la Cruz, there's an amazing botanical garden. The entrance is only €3. Puerto de la Cruz is a lovely town to visit up north. Apparently, it started to attract a few tourists in late Victorian times. Agatha Christie apparently came here. This interesting swimming park, it's called Lago Martinez. It was designed in the mid-70s by an artist from Lanzarote. His name was Cesar Manrique. If you were choosing a destination to come for a week, though, bear in mind that in the north you might have some rain. Because of the geographical condition with the mountains on the Mount Teide, the volcano, it attracts the clouds, so it could be a bit grey. So because it's a volcanic island, the sand is black. Now let's talk about food. What you have to try while you are on the island, it's the papas arrugadas, wrinkled potatoes. They are so-called wrinkled. Those ones actually are not a great example. They are not very wrinkled. They are local little potatoes that have been boiled with a lot of salt. And that salt wrinkles the skin a little. The typical green sauce, it's called moro. It's made with green peppers and garlic and spices. You can get red as well. If you feel adventurous, you can try liqueur de cactus or even banana wine. This is a wine, not a banana liquor. They have liquor as well, but this is an actual wine. And it looks like wine, like white wine. Let's get this open, if I can manage. Let's try. Cheers. Interesting. It actually tastes like wine. I don't do wine. I'm a terrible French. That's why I've been banned from France. Anyway, cheers. I did not want to waste, so I've mixed it with Aperol to make a banana spritz. So in the north you see a lot of those beautiful black sand beaches. In the south you see a lot of the white goldy sand, but those are actually imported from the Sahara. And mainly on the west inside of the island you find those amazing piscinas naturales, natural pools. It is seawater that is trapped between rocks. The water does clean itself with the waves and the tides. In some of them, though, you have to be a little bit careful when it's wavy. A lot of people come to the island and they stay in the south a week, all-inclusive. But if you wanted to explore the island, you can rent a car. Car rental is actually fairly affordable compared to the rest of Europe. To give you an idea, if you get a good deal, you could get a car for about 80 euros a week. And the roads are very good, so don't be scared about the quality of the roads, they're very good. But if you do not want to rent a car, there are a lot of buses. You can get around the island with buses if you wanted to. There's a lot of motorways though, so don't think you'll get away with getting a 50cc scooter or ATV quad like you would in Greece, for example. No, you're much better off with a car. Apparently there's even a free bus that leaves from Las Americas here all the way to Santa Cruz. Well, it's free, but you have to buy something in the shopping center in Santa Cruz and show the ticket to get you free return. So this is Las Americas. Beautiful spot to come and buy yourself a glass of wine and watch the sunset. You'll find a lot of wines on the island as well. Apparently they used to be very famous. In the 16th century, apparently William Shakespeare was a big fan of the wines of Tenerife. He mentioned it in some of his plays. That's also a great surfing spot. Now, Las Americas has been built for tourism. If you'd come here 60 years ago, there was nothing here. There's a lot of amazing restaurants and hotels and swimming pools, but it is true that it doesn't feel that authentic. You can walk around the seaside, everyone speaks English, you'd be approached by those people trying to sell you attractions or tickets to go and see the whales, or excursions to La Gomera, which is the other island across the sea. This little virgin is here to bless the port of Los Cristianos. This is a miniature, but there's a big virgin 40 meters below the sea. It's been placed under the port to protect the sailors against the misfortunes. So for about 20 euros, you can take any of those excursions to go and see the whales. The most famous boats are the Viking or the Peter Pan. I'm on the Peter Pan. And here are the whales. Don't expect to see them jumping or anything, they're sleeping at their time. So you see them coming out to breathe, but they're actually sleeping. Sometimes you get lucky and see dolphins on the same trip. We didn't.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, early in the morning. Putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, early in the morning.
Now, if you happen to have some mobility issues or to be in a wheelchair, the south is the best. Los Cristianos is one of the most accessible locations in Europe. Did you ever think, oh, if I die, I want to be buried in a beautiful place. I want to be buried in the countryside or by the sea. Well, in Tenerife, you can. This is El Cementerio de Sant Andrés. It's just 10 minutes from Santa Cruz, in Playa de las Teresitas. Santa Cruz, it's the capital. For many years, it didn't have such a great reputation, mainly because of some oiled refineries, and you can see some oil tanks in the distance. But nowadays, it's beautiful. You see some interesting art, like this beautiful sculpture in front of a theater. It's a mask, like a theater mask. It's full of history. There's a museum about the Guanches. The Guanches, they were a fantastic civilization, and they had some mummies. Those mummies were called raros, and they were somehow probably inspired by the Egyptian mummies, but very different. And there might be many more to be found. There's a manuscript from the 18th century in which they mention the cave of the 1,000 mummies somewhere in Tenerife. It's never been found yet. And on the jetty by the Opera House, you can see icons of the music industry. They've been painted on the rocks here, which is quite cool. Santa Cruz also has an amazing carnival in February. You can see those little forts because a lot of people try to take the island. There were a lot of pirates, of course, because the Spanish were meant to have a lot of gold from the New World. But also Nelson, the Admiral Nelson, famously lost an arm here trying to take Santa Cruz. By the Auditorio de Tenerife here, you'll see this beautiful swimming pool, El Parque Marítimo César Manrique. It was created in the 90s. And if you're coming with kids, or if like me you are a big kid, in the south by Los Cristianos, there's a monkey park. So you can come and feed the guinea pigs and the monkeys. It costs 10 euros for the entrance. There are another 2 big zoos on the island, like Loro Park, but this one is a tiny one. And I don't know about you, but I love monkeys. Now, I didn't even tell you where the names come from. Tenerife was one of the Guanche leaders. And the Canary Islands, it actually comes from canine, so dogs. It basically means the Isle of Dogs. I made another little friend that is not a monkey. Hello. Can you say hello? Ah, well done. That was loud. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that little visit of Tenerife. If you happen to be a local watching this video, and if you have any suggestions of places I should visit next time, feel free to pop them in the comments. Again, there is far more to see on the island. I only had a few days here this time, but I will be back. Family attraction, nightlife, whatever you're into, you'll find it in Tenerife. So anyway, bye!